Good morning. So today we're going to talk about A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. So the anatomy of the book, it's paperback due to the really bendable, obviously destroyed cover. It's a cheap book, it cost me maybe $10, $15. So here we have the title of the book, the spine. There's a blurb on the back, which I find quite interesting. There's one about the novel itself and then one about the publisher at the top. So it's Penguin. We've got the body, which is all of this right here. There's no flyleaf in this novel at all. It's quite interesting. The imprint, which is all of this lovely bibliographical content right here. There's a foreword by Blake Morrison. It's quite extensive actually. So it outlines his experience of the novel and just some general history about the author. The chapters are quite interesting in this too. There's 3 parts of 7 chapters of each. That directly relates back to the story and was purposefully done by Burgess, more or less 3/7 to 21. It instigates the becoming of an adult by the protagonist in the text. So it's quite interesting to note. So we've got the verso here, we've got the recto here, and that's pretty much it for the anatomy of this fantastic novel. Bibliographic identity. So this novel comes in 155 formats, including 78 in book form, 18 in audiobook, and there's also 40 videos that I found in the wordcat.org search. That's mainly attributed to Stanley Kubrick's film adaptation, which he credits highly to Burgess, which is why I'm assuming the author came up so much. I did a books in print search to confirm the identity of this exact copy. So it's virtually the same as what's found in the book itself. It's copyright 1962. This edition was published in 2008 and it's been printed by Penguin Books. Classic. Book history time. So I bought this one maybe 5 or 6 years ago from Gimmicks in Sydney. There's a whole range of Penguin books there, a whole wall of orange, and I'm really drawn to that. It's easy to find novels there. So as you can tell, I have not kept this in good condition. I've taken it overseas a few times. Backpacking, you need something small, and I can reread this anywhere, and I don't get that tired of it. It's one of my favourites. I've lived in mouldy terrace houses, which explains the yellow pages and mould that started to form. I don't take care of it at all. It's a cheap copy, but I love it anyway. I normally buy secondhand books, so I don't really mind the condition that it's in. Yes, full of marks and possibly crumbs of food. Who would know? Anyway, book history. I love this. I love it. It's great. Reception. So this text is considered a cult classic. It's highly controversial, mainly due to the content, especially during its publication in the 1960s. Very, very bad for people to read this, apparently. So it's interesting, the American edition of this text didn't have the last kind of redemption chapter until 1986. So this in turn affected Kubrick's film adaptation. He's still bad in the movie, whereas in the book he actually wants to become good. He wants to change his life, become an adult. So Modern Library places this as number 65 out of the top 100 novels of the 20th century. It's also in David Bowie's top 100 favourite books. May he rest in peace. The reader experience. As mentioned before, I've pretty much covered the history of this book, why I like it. I store it with my other Penguin books. They look really nice, all lined up with their orange spines. varying thicknesses, obviously. I've read it so many times. I would recommend it to anybody. Please read this book. It is wonderful. Thank you. Goodbye, world.